Said to be blocking the westbound lanes of the Bay Bridge. This arrow highlights where it's all happening. Let's bring in CHP Officer Art Montiel on the phone to get us up to date. Thanks for being with us. Give us your take on the situation.
Well, approximately 10 minutes ago, we received calls that there were some protesters on the westbound lanes of 80, just east of Treasure Island. So we have our teams en route, and we're going to open the lanes as soon as possible.
Do you have any idea what they're protesting or if it's tied to the APEC summit happening in San Francisco?
It appears that the information that we got was protesting for Palestine. So we will know for sure until our units get there, but that was the information that we received.
I see. And so you've received calls from a number of drivers. Has the CHP had eyes on the situation yet?
They are en route. They should be there shortly. So they are sending our team to. It appears that they're chained themselves to block the lane. So they should be there shortly.
I see. We have some video actually taken by the protesters and posted on social media. We're sharing that with our viewers now. Officer Montiel, can you tell me, we've heard from so many agencies about heightened security, special precautions. Was anything special happening on the Bay Bridge, or is it, kind of driving in as usual, a little more crowded?
No, I mean, it's just driving as usual, and then we do have units on the bridge that are there in case something like this happens, but they were obviously it was well planned, and they're out there right now, so. Yeah. We are trying to get our teams out there to reopen the Bay Bridge.
Yeah, again, in that message that was posted on social media along with the video, the protesters were saying that it was tied to APEC, but specifically calling for a ceasefire and protesting what's happening there in the Middle East. When is the last time something like this happened? Of course, the Bay Bridge is such a visible symbol of the entire Bay Area.
Yeah, no, it's been a while. It's definitely been a while since anything closed the Bay Bridge. So unusual, but it's unfortunately it's happening right now. So we are doing everything we can to reopen those lanes so people can get to work.
Is this something the CHP had discussions about? I'm assuming it must have been considered a possibility in looking ahead to the eyes of the world being on San Francisco.
Absolutely, yes. This is something that was part of our plan. That's why, if you notice, one of the lanes is closed on the Bay Bridge, and we have units out there. It's just, they obviously planned it very well, and they got to the area where there was no unit. So,
what happens when the CHP arrives where the protesters are?
We have a detanglement team. The detanglement team that's going to get the people that are chained themselves off the bridge, and then the rest of them will be given an order to disperse. If that's not the case, then we will unfortunately have to arrest some people.
I see. So in order to disperse, if they don't disperse, they get arrested. But at this point, if they say, okay, fine, we're leaving, then everyone's just left to go?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. What do you say to drivers who are stuck in this mess?
I'm sorry?
What do you say to the drivers who are stuck in this mess?
I mean, at this point, we advise people from the beginning that there was going to be some be patient. We are trying to get people to avoid driving into the city because a lot of times this can happen. We obviously try to do everything that we could to prevent it from happening, but unfortunately, sometimes that's not the case. So at this point, we're going to do everything we can to reopen the lanes as soon as possible.
So if I can press you a little bit on what you just said about how we did everything we can to try to prevent this, yet clearly it's happening in the middle of the Thursday morning commute. People who've been in the cities have said, I haven't seen this many officers from the local, state, and federal level at any point. I know CHP is among the many agencies who were beefing up security. We had a CHP representative in the studio just the other day talking about it. For those who say, how can this happen when the CHP and other agencies have increased their presence to such a degree? What's the answer there?
Well, I mean, we unfortunately can't get everything right 100%, so we are doing everything we can to avoid these things from happening. However, sometimes things will take place, and we will just try to get there as soon as possible to make them right.
So if the protesters are shutting down lanes east of Treasure Island in the westbound lanes, does CHP really have no other choice but to get on the very bridge that's stopped right now to get to where the action's happening? Or is there some sort of reverse approach or a helicopter something? Kind of what are the options?
Yeah, I mean, we have officers on both sides, so we're sending officers from whatever whatever the best access is to get to the protesters.
I see.
So.
And so in your best estimation, how soon will it be before officers arrive at the protest site?
Let me see. Looks like some units are already on scene. So we're hoping that this will be only a few minutes and we can get this cleared up soon.
Okay, so it might be resolved fairly quickly. Have you been able to hear or see what the agents on the scene have said so far about the situation there?
No, I have not.
Okay. All right. Well, you've given us a lot of good new information. The CHP's Art Montiel, thank you so much for joining us as we continue to follow this breaking news. Lanes closed right now in the westbound direction of the Bay Bridge, east of Treasure Island. As of right now, it's still shut down. Do not get on the Bay Bridge. We'll stay in touch with CHP and give you the resolution, hopefully safe and soon once we get it.